Alright, hello there and welcome to another Starfield video. So today we're looking at a mod called Ship Modules Revised by Samuel1810. Just gonna check if the author is done. He's done a lot of revising. Nice. Guy knows what he's doing then. So basically what this mod does is it changes a lot of the changes all of the reactors, engines, grav drive, shield generators, fuel tanks, and cargo holds. But it also adds new immersive features. So yeah, let's go check it out, shall we? All right, so here we are in the ship vendor. We're gonna go and check out the stuff.
Sure. How about?
So they said there's a spreadsheet. I tried looking and couldn't find it, but then to be fair, I didn't look very hard. So we're gonna take a look at the stats and just kind of see how they go. So we'll start off with the cargo. Okay, so already they've bumped up the cargo. So the 100 cm is now 300 cargo. That's 250. 200 car. Why is that one more? Unless the wait a minute. Wait, that's a fair point. Did the mod author determine that because it's bigger? Fair enough. That's actually valid. This one has 400 cargo. This one has also 400 cargo. You know, what? Interesting. So, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna check the stats real quick. We'll be right back. All right. So I've brought up an error. So the 100 cm ballast cargo was 210. It's now 300. The shielded cargo was 160. It's now 250. Then we have the hauler cargo. Well, actually, hold on. We'll do the ballast first, just to be less confusing. So the original ballast was 200 cm ballast was 245. Now it's down to 200. The shielded was 190. Is now 150. The 400 cm. The 300 cm. Okay. The 300 cm was 320, is now 400, so they've bumped it a little bit. And then the 400 was 435, they bumped it up to 400. So they're both the same, which I'm assuming that's a yeah. So then we have the 10 the shielded okay, so the normal had 585 and now it's 500. The shielded had 240. No, the shield had 320. It now has 450, which is pretty nice. The 20T hauler had a 600. It originally had 760, so they nerfed it slightly. The 30T hauler had 1,000. It now is 800. The 40T hauler had 1270. It now has 800 as well, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it makes sense from a kind of a gameplay point of view. If they're the same size, they should technically have the same. The only real they're lighter. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. That's the main difference, is they're lighter. Okay, that makes sense. The Caravel V101 originally had 225 and now is 250. The shielded was 170. It's now 200. The V102 was 300. It's now 400. The V102 shielded was 240. Is now 350. The 103 was 395. It's now 500. The 104 was 550. It's now 6. The Gamma was 210. It's now 400. The Gamma shielded was 160. It's now 350. The Panoptes, or no, the Gamma. We got the 10. The 1010 is 245, down from 400. What? Why is did I read that right? Why is it a Gamma 1010 that? Or are they the same? Okay, so yeah, so it's a case of weight. So they're lowering the weight, I guess. Is 245. Okay, cool. And then the Gamma 1010 shielded was 190. It's now 350. The Gamma 1020 was 320, it's now 400. The Galleon S201 was 720, it's now 500. The S202 was 950, it's now 1000. The S203 was 1200, it's now 800. The S204 was 1480, it's now 1000. The Polo 2000 was 435, it's now 1000. The 210 was 585, it's now 1000. 2020 was 760, it's now 1200. The 2030 was 1000, it's now 1200 again. The Stormax Cargo Hold 30 was 210, it's now 1000. And the 40 was 245, it's now 1000. And the 50 was 320, now 1000. And the 60 was 435, now thousands. So, all in all, so for the most part, I think the mod author has done like a really good job of kind of balancing them in terms of like their size. So like it makes sense if this is 1000 cargo, realistically this shouldn't also be 1000 cargo, because as you can see, it's not the exact dimensions, it's losing a bit. Same with like this one. If this one's 1000 cargo, then the one up should also be 1000 cargo, because it's not like, you know, it's not doing anything different. Obviously the whole point is they make the mass lighter. Now with these ones, they didn't really do anything when it comes to mass. They're all the same. They're kind of, I feel like the mod author needs to go and change the pricing on these to be all the same, just because why would you spend 1700 when this one's cheaper? So cockpits, I don't believe were changed. No, they weren't. Dockers weren't changed. So engines, okay, so we're going to take a look at the kind of the stats of the engines. It's going to be interesting. So the the Ammon 1 engine, we'll go A-class. Oh, whoops. Apologies, somebody just added me. The Ammon 1 engines, by default, had 56,000 thrust. Need the stats. It had... How do I see? They're not going to show me the stat. Okay. So it had an engine thrust of 5660 and a maneuvering thrust of 1550 with an engine health of 50 and a hull of 5. So now they've basically, so they've bumped up the engine thrust by 3 times and they've lowered the maneuvering thrust. Why? Uh-oh. That's a problem. Okay. So they seem to have, the second one they may have broken slightly. They've made this one lower. Oh wait, no, wait a minute. Did they? Oh, okay, so the stats are different. Okay, so this says specially tuned for speed, sacrifice mobility, and lateral movement for high top speed and a fast boost charge. This one is for maneuverability, sacrificing speed and boost charge. So originally, this had 74,400 or 7,400 engine thrust. It now has half that, but it also has double the maneuvering thrust. This one is tuned for middle ground, so that's the C class. The original one had 8,000. Well, that's the wrong engine. Whoops. It had 9,200 engine and 1,900 maneuvering, so about the same. So we're gonna... It's gonna be a nightmare going through all of these stat-wise. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna look at them in general. So it seems like if this one here... High performance thrusters, sacrifice mobility and lateral movement for an extreme top speed and fast recharge, recommended for jousting runs. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same with all of these. Okay, so that one tops out at 1300. That one tops, that's pretty fast. What about the SAEs? So these ones... Sacrifice mobility and lateral movement for a high top speed and fast movement charge. Then it sacrifice. So it seems like the first one is basically movement speed. Second one is maneuverability. Third one is middle ground. Fourth one, sacrifice mobility and lateral for a high top speed and boost charge. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of how it is. Interesting. Cool. And then usually the higher end one is for jousting. So then we have these again the same. 3015s have been tweaked. 20 for jousting, 330. Okay, so what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna strap one of these bad boys on a ship and we're gonna see how fast. So 2190 is the fastest. That's 36. Is that the fastest? Okay, yeah, so we're gonna really quickly we're gonna actually gonna modify this ship real quick. And we're gonna put some of these bad boys on it just to see how fast we can go. No, go back. So I'm interested to see, because the mod author did say that they basically improved the speed. So the top speed is 550 on these. Okay, that's pretty fast. Let me actually just, now that we're here, let's check this. So if we... Top speed on these is 400. At the base level, it's 450. Okay. Top speed on this is 450. Oh, it shows the speed. I'm an idiot. So we've got 450 speed, 350 speed, but 40 mobility. 400 speed, 16 mobility. 500 speed, 5 mobility. 400 speed, 70 mobility. 450 speed, 38 mobility. 600 speed, no mobility. 450 speed, no mobility. You see there, it's basically, yeah, going through the stats. And then we're gonna try these. So these are 550. Is that the highest, or does that go to 6? So this is 600. So we're gonna see how fast. So they provide very low mobility, which is... All right, let's go see how fast this bad boy is. All right, so here we are. So just straight away, the maneuvering speed is very slow with no pips to engines. Put the pips to the engines, it gets a little bit better, but it's still quite slow, which is interesting. What is the 24,000? Is that our hull? So we're gonna get some speed. Okay, so this has a base speed of, what was it? I think it was 600. What is boost looking like? Okay, boost goes to, by Jesus, boost goes to 1200. And you can feel this is very weighty, like I actually really like this. Now, how it works in combat is definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm curious as to why it says, is that my hull? We'll have to test that in a minute. Is the ship docked by that? What is that other ship? Do a quick little dogfight. Oh my god, I am fast. Holy crap. So, like, ages ago, like, I mean ages ago. What difficulty am I on here? Normal. Oh, it's probably because it isn't kitted very well. Was that my hull? Interesting. So that seems to be my hull. Oh, is that an armor system?
You've already lost.
Alright, we're gonna let him shoot us real quick. I think my prayers have been answered. Is this an armor system? Alright, we're just gonna hold here. As you can see, without any pips and engine, by jeez, this thing maneuvers very slowly. Hey, come on, I'm gonna set the difficulty up to player ship damage, just to see it wreck me. Come on. So yeah, I'm assuming that's your armor and that's your hull, which is interesting because that's kind of how Elite Dangerous does it. You can either hold tank or you can have shields, which I'm guessing that's how it works. Now, I'm guessing the engine is what determines your hull or your armor, which we'll check that in a minute. Now, the only thing I'm really worried about in regards to this is how the AI handles it, because if, let's say, for instance, Bethesda has enabled the AI to maneuver in a way that, you know, they know how the engines work. And by tweaking the engines themselves, will the AI be kind of more erratic? Erratic? Yeah, that's the word. So, because that's Spectre, that's a B class, so it should have a pretty middle of the ground, like thrusters and stuff. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there's your armor. That is very cool. All right, so we're gonna jump back and check some other stuff. All right, so we're back here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check out these. So the A class engines seem to be based purely for speed with kind of limited mobility. So if we go to the B class shield, you'll see there we have a little bit more. So these ones are tuned for speed again. Looking here, so it seems like the top speed is going to be, it's going to be a lot slower. 500. Interesting. I'm just going to the stats so you can see the stats themselves, and there's no point kind of comparing because obviously that doesn't do much. See there, and then we've got the C classes. Okay, so the C classes are pretty slow. Their max speed seems to be 250, but some of them give insane mobility, which is really nice. All right, so next we're going to check the fuel tanks. So I'm assuming the fuel tanks, they just kind of tweak them. Yeah, so the mod author, basically what they did was they looked at the fuel tanks and they said, all right, well, these fuel tanks are the same size. How can they hold more? Now, I'm not a scientist, but it might be possible, but the mod author basically made them lighter, which makes sense. Usually, when it comes to like upgrading stuff in general, in order to make something lighter, it tends to be made of more expensive materials. The 300 now has 75. The 400 also has 75. 500T has 150. 600T has 300. 700T has 300 again. 800, 750T again, but as you see, it gets lighter. The 800T1 is again 500. And then these ones hold 75, which is, I will say, is like slightly interesting. Just considering that it seems to be, what is the main difference? So I don't really know what the mod authors, so this is kind of a similar profile to this, so it should, in theory, hold the same. And then the M20, basically, it's lighter. The M30 has 100. I think it has 100 by default, 200. So they don't, yeah, okay, that one, they tweaked that one. These small ones have 50, 100, 100, and 200. So yeah, I feel like if this one's going to have 200, this one, like, needs to have 200 as well, potentially. And then these big ones here, again, 200. So basically, all the mod author did was with the fuel is any of them that look the same size, they basically just made them. So say, for instance, these are all the same size. So in the base game, they would give more fuel, whereas the mod author makes them have the same fuel, but they're lighter, which makes sense. Next, we have, I don't think the landing gear was tweaked. No, landing gear wasn't tweaked. The grav drives, reinforced grav drive to allow more health and damage. So, okay, so that one gives a jump range of 12, but it gives a grav health of F75. Overcharged grav drive increases jump range at the cost of less protection. Now, I don't know where the protection specifically is. Is it... I don't know if it's just the grav drive health specifically. And then this one, obviously, reinforced grav drive, and then, okay, cool. So they just, it basically looks like it's a case of you can have more jump drive or more health, which is pretty interesting. So it seems like the lighter ones cap out at 30 jump range, and then we've got the more A classes there. Yes, the health seems to cap at about 50. Which is, I will say, it's... Did that give us no jump drive? Did that just... Oh, no, it's because we have a grav drive on already. Let me, Here we go. Okay, so that's... I'm not sure of the, like, what the main difference is. Because, like, say, for instance, like, this one says, like, reinforced grav drive allows you, you know, to jump further. More damage at the cost of jumping. Which, that kind of makes sense, I suppose. And then, obviously, if we're looking through again... That gives 40 jump thrust, which is kind of insane for a B class. Another 40 jump thrust at the B class. And then that gives 27 jump thrust, 40 jump thrust, 50 jump thrust, 27, 30. Okay, so... Cool. So now if we look at the reactors. So the reactors... high power reactor provides superior power at the cost of hull and repair rate. So this is a repair rate of 1.5, but it gives 25 power and is 25 health with 461 hull. This one has 17 power, but its repair rate is 2.8, and its hull is 615. High repair rate reactor provides superior repair rate and decent hull. This one is a high hull reactor, 719. High power reactor by superior at the cost of... Okay, cool. This one, high powered reactor, provides superior power. So again, it's like with the engines, it seems like each of the reactors, there's generally going to be like one that gives you far more power, one that gives you far more health and repair. Like this one is high power. This one gives 25, whereas this one gives 17, but it gives a faster repair rate and faster hull. Whereas this one is high hull, pure high hull. And then again, I'm just going to scroll through the stats. I want to know where the armor specifically comes into. I'm assuming maybe it's the hull. Does it count? No, it couldn't be the hull. As you can see there, the hull jumping up, and then we've got the C-class reactors. They all, I'm assuming, 30 power, 20 power, 40. So the ones that generally have less power have way more health. Pretty interesting. Now shields are an interesting one because they've basically made it so, okay, so we've got high power shield generator, which trades regenerate for overall strength. So this one, it's an A class. It gives us 1600 shields and only 3 regen. Whereas this one, it drops the shields down in half, but it's a 20 regen, 20%. This one is balanced. This one, again, is higher. This one is higher regen. And then this one is balanced. So I'm assuming we're going to see, yeah, we're going to see the same all around. So it seems like 20 seems to be the highest. That one gives no regen. So this one, it's an experimental shield generator that offers superior shield strength. So 2,600. Is that the highest we can get currently? Yeah, so that's the highest A class. But as you see there, we get no shield regen. Which, I don't think that means no shield regen, though. If I was guessing, I just means it probably comes back slower. This one is high power. That one's higher shield. 10%, 3, 20, 3, 20. And if anything goes higher than 20. There's the Vanguard Bulwark. 4,000 shield, which is kind of insane. Another one, 4,000. Same, this is a little bit higher. 3,750 shield. By Jesus, some of these shields are powerful. And then we've got C-Class, 3,000 shield, 4,000 shield, 4,000, 3,000, 5,000 shield. 166 shield, 10%. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I think that's everything. There is another mod that basically the mod author has done like a ton of them. But we're going to be, we're only checking out this one. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to, so that has, what is the hull on that? Hull is 1800. We're gonna fly this just to see what the armor would be on it really quickly. And then we'll see. Alright, so currently we're in combat. I'm going to drop my shields all the way down and see if my hull takes over. Will it take over? I'm not sure. We shall see, though. You gonna shoot me? Okay, so that's interesting. So that one... Is it if we don't have a shield? I'm gonna really quickly check. We're gonna swap shields out. Alright, so interestingly, if you take the shield off of the ship, you get the hull, or the I'm assuming that's the armor value. Which is pretty interesting. I'm wondering why it doesn't have an armor value by default. I'm guessing, again, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of testing real quick. So I'm gonna go and do some combat just because I want to see if the armor comes back. It realistically shouldn't, but we shall try. I've been sat here for a few minutes, and it seems like the armor will not increase. So it basically works out when in something like Elite Dangerous, where you would have to go back and repair the ship. So we're gonna really quickly check that because we do have full hull, which means, like, in theory, it shouldn't give us anything to repair, but we're gonna try. But I will say that this is as a system, this is very, very cool. There is some questions. Obviously, there is a there is mention of a spreadsheet, which I will still try and find. But for the most part, this is a very awesome mod, and I think it's going to be one that I'm going to be using going forward, just because it kind of changes the modules in a way that I've always been hoping for. My only concern, though, is the armor not being there if you don't have a shield, or if you have a shield. I kind of, I understand why they did it, like, kind of balancing reason. But, like, that being said, it'd be nice to have both, but then that could be really tedious.
Hey, what can I do for you? Nothing for us to do.
Okay, so that's interesting. So there's nothing to repair, so let me really quickly go back to orbit again and see what happens. Is it still going to be 70? Okay, so I have no idea how you would, like, technically repair that. But yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm assuming that's an armor system. It might not be. It could be a bug, but it seems like an armor system. Yeah, as always, guys, let me know what you think if you've been playing around with this mod. And definitely on, like, Xbox. I do all this testing on PC, but let me know how it is. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.